we're going to be covering the basics of chipping. So remember, by definition, a chip shot is a shot played from close to the green with less air and more roll. Another great name for it is the flying putt. So our goal is to get this on the ground as soon as possible and let it roll to the hole. Maybe use the ratio of 1/4 air time and 3/4 ground time. So let's start from the ground and work our way up. So we want to start with our feet relatively close together. Okay, so maybe about a club head apart, maybe slightly wider. We want to take our buttons or our sternum and we want to lean it in front of the golf ball. So when we push our weight forward, we don't want to push our hips this way because then it lowers my right shoulder. We want to get our sternum and push it forward this way. Okay? We're also, once we do that, we're going to make sure that we choke up on the golf club. So if I turn from the side here, you can see I'm choking down a couple of inches on the golf club, and I'm also getting closer to the golf ball, which makes the club shaft a little bit more upright. So this would be a normal stance. For a chip shot, we want it more upright like this. It'll almost feel as if the heel of the club or the bottom part is off the ground. That's how close I want you to feel. Okay? So we have our ball position back towards our right foot. We have our sternum leaned ahead of the golf ball. We're choked down on the golf club and we're a little closer. Now the goal here is we're going to have a very little wrist movement on the way back, and then we're going to pivot through. So our goal is to try to keep this shot or the club head below our knees. So we're going to have a little hinge in the wrist, pivot through. So you can think of it goes back, kick the right knee through, keep the club pointing down to the ground. Okay, so our goal here is to make sure we hit the ball first and then the ground, not the ground and then the ball. So in order to do that, we're going to make sure that we keep our weight forward or keep our sternum ahead of the golf ball. We're going to keep a nice small swing, and then we're going to kick our right knee through and pivot through the golf ball while keeping the club pointed low to the ground. So it should not look like this with a lot of wrist movement, or even back and through with a lot of wrist movement. You can see that I have a slight little hinge of the wrist while keeping my weight forward, and then I'm pivoting through or kicking my right leg through, and I'm keeping my left wrist nice and flat and the club pointed nice and low. A great visual would be is if I have my index finger down the side of the shaft here, it matches the angle of the shaft, and as I go through, it's pointed to the ground and not at the horizon like this. Okay? So let's try one out here. Get set up, the ball back. We're going to lean our sternum forward, hands right around the inside of our left thigh. We're going to hinge a little bit and then kick our right knee through so we can pivot. So hinge, pivot through. And you can see how I hit that ball nice and cleanly. Made sure I hit the ball first, then the ground, and the ball stayed relatively low and then started to run towards the hole. So next time you're having trouble with your chipping, try those basics and make sure you're doing them all correctly.